Namaste. Thank you so much for visiting my YouTube channel, Japan Darshan with Pranav Jani. My name is Pranav. I am a teacher in India. Presently, I am in Japan on an educational research. With the help of this channel, I share my experiences in Japan. This video is the continuation of the series in which MEXT scholars from different countries share their experiences with you. In this video, MEXT Scholar from Bulgaria is going to share her experiences with you. After her introduction, she is going to answer the questions like, how did she come to know about the scholarship? What were the preparations did she make to get the scholarship? What are the differences she has found between her country and Japan? I hope this video is going to be helpful to those who want to study in Japan. After all, we learn from our experiences or from others' experiences, right? And yes, if you have any doubt regarding MEXT scholarship, you may pen down your questions in the comment box. I will try my level best to answer your questions. Thank you. Now enjoy the video.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Andy. I'm from Bulgaria. It's a country located in southeastern Europe, and I'm currently studying there in the oldest university, you could say. I'm studying, my major is Japanology. So, what does it include? You would ask yourselves, I guess. It's everything about Japan, from the language to culture, history, politics, economics, everything you can think of. And I guess the field I'm most interested is teaching Japanese. So that's what I'm aiming for in the future, to become a Japanese teacher. So right now I'm here in Japan for 1 year on a program from the MEXT. Well, like an old grandma, I enjoy sewing and crafting, things like this. Okay, so the program I applied for is called MEXT Scholarship Japanese Studies Student Program. So, since I'm a Japanese studies student, Japanology student, it only comes natural to me to apply for this program, because I can actually put to good use all I've learned during my major. I can come to Japan and I can, how do you say, my level of Japanese, I can make it higher. I can learn more stuff about the culture and everything. So the duration of the program is 1 year, 2 semesters in a Japanese university, which I'm free to choose any university that tackles the program of MEXT. So this is a good thing. And the desirable outcome is maybe, okay, so in Japanese language we have 5 levels, and I would be really happy if I could speak the same level that is N2, like if I could really speak like an N2 foreigner, that would be good. And maybe in the future like a native Japanese speaker, but that's many years from now. For now, only just the JLPT N2 level of speaking. Okay, so first of all, I want to mention that Bulgaria is a small country, so there is actually only one university that offers Japanology, Japanese studies, as a possible major. So when you enter it, basically from your first year on, your professors tell you about this program of MEXT, that it exists and that it would be really good for you. So if you're willing, the best time would be after your first year. So when you're a second year, a third year, or a fourth year, it doesn't matter when you decide to apply for it. But if you're willing, it would be really beneficial, of course. So my program is during bachelor's degree, which means I'm required to come here for 1 year, and then I have to go back to my country and finish my degree. That is a requirement of MEXT. So when I started thinking about coming here, I had to make certain preparations. So in order to come here, first you take an exam, a Japanese exam, which would include all the levels from N5 till N1, and each year the minimum score, the bar score, you have to achieve in order to be considered to go to the next level of the selection. You probably need to score between level N2 and level N1, so you should really think about when you want to take the exam, because when you're studying Japanese studies for 4 years, when you're a second year, you're probably level N3, so you would need to put in much more effort than a 3-year person or 4-year person. But it's totally possible, so that shouldn't worry you. So you go, take the exam. If you have the right if you have the right score, you go to the next level of the selection, which would be an interview. So before you go for the interview, you get a big book with all the universities that work with this program. It's like really thick like this, so you have so much choice there. And you just choose 3 universities, you fill in some documents, and when you go to the interview, apart from personal questions, you need to, of course, show your motivation and explain why you chose those universities. And if they deemed you that you would be a good asset to that program, you go to the next level, which would be after the interview. The embassy of Japan in your country sends those documents to the university. So even if you succeed in the exam and succeed in the interview, it doesn't really mean you will come here. So you should wait for the universities to write back to you, which takes a lot of time. So if you're willing to go for this program, you should be really patient, but it pays off in the end. So probably answer always like time-wise, the exam, at least in my country, I guess it's different in other countries as well, but in Bulgaria's case, it was exam in February, then you have the interview in March, and then I waited, I don't know, until summer. And since it was Corona time, it was even longer, so I waited probably till September to even hear anything from them. And in normal times, it would be July. Not normal times, September. And after you get confirmation from the university you are accepted, only then you can come here in that university. And after you get your answer, it's just only a matter of time till you come here. Okay, so after succeeding in MEXT program, I'm currently studying at Tokyo GAKUGEL University, and I guess it's a funny story how I chose to come here, because as I mentioned before, you have a really thick book to choose from. So I was really confused, what should I do? I was like going randomly at different pages at some point and just wondering, because there are universities in Kyushu, which is like there are universities in Hokkaido, in Okinawa even. So, but what I knew was I wanted to come to Tokyo, and also I wanted to come to a university that not any one of my seniors have come before me, because I wanted something new. And I randomly saw the name Gakugei University. It has the gay character, which means art, skill. So that is something that has to do something with my hobbies. So I was just like, yeah, I'll go for this one. And then I opened the page, looked at it, and when I found out that it was about teaching, that it trains new people to go for the teaching profession, I was like, oh, actually it sounds like a place for me, since I want to be a teacher. Of course, I know since this program doesn't let you go all the way with the classes of the normal students, but you can still benefit from the university. So I came here, and actually I've never regretted my choice. Like, I've met so many wonderful people, and like all the students I've talked to here are so open-minded that I was definitely surprised. And there are many clubs, circles, many activities. All the teachers and the people from the university staff are always so kind to us, always help us as foreigners. And when you get, so first semester you may not be able to go for the classes that normal students go, but second semester actually you can enroll in normal classes of the university. So like there are people that are studying to become an arts teacher, so you can go for their classes, you can go for any classes. So I really like Tokyo Gakugel University. So I guess right now is my second time in Japan. Actually, 2 years ago I came here as part of a training program for 1 month, but I was in Kansai region in Osaka. So that's when I first experienced firsthand Japan, and that's why I guess this time is easier for me. And also as a Japanese studies student, like almost every day you tackle the subject of Japan, so it's not difficult to get accustomed to Japanese life here. Of course it takes some time because you go all the way from a far country, all the way from there you come here, and the time difference for me at least is like 6 hours plus. So when I wake up, my friends and family are probably sleeping. When I'm going about my day, they're still sleeping. But it doesn't bother me that much because you're supposed to make the most of the moment where you are. So I guess I got accustomed pretty fast. Of course, there are different types of people, but it's okay. Everyone should go with their pace and shouldn't worry too much comparing themselves to other spaces. So that's about it, about me accustoming to Japan.
So what you have answered is related to your studies, right? That you were studying Japanese in your country, you are studying Japanese here, you have been to Japan before. But how about, keeping in mind the condition of weather?
Yeah.
How about that?
Well,
getting accustomed?
Yeah, actually the weather here is pretty similar to Bulgaria, so that was not a problem for me at least. It's individual. But to be honest, like it's similar to the weather in the past in Bulgaria. So right now when here it's haru, it's how do you
spring.
say? Yeah, thank you. So here when it's spring in Bulgaria, actually it was supposed to be spring, but it's snowing snow right now, so I'm kind of happier that I'm here compared to my friends. Like they send me pictures of them being cold and I send them pictures of me having fun by the spring trees and the sakura. So yeah, but the one thing of course I don't like is the summer because it's too humid and I hate it, but you can get accustomed to it. Like
July and August going to be difficult.
Yeah, and we're gonna all swell up like balloons.
All right.
Yeah. So, what I have found most surprising in my life right now, I already grew accustomed to it, but at first when I came here, since I would always like to joke with my friends using sarcasm, of course, I'm not saying I'm best at sarcasm and delivering it right, but like sometimes when it's obvious jokes, I would in the beginning I would try to joke with my friends and they would always take me so seriously, and I'm like, seriously? You couldn't? You couldn't? But it's not something that you can't get over with time. Also, I guess it's just I'm kind of a, how do you say, a language otaku, of course. So ever since I started studying Japanese, of course, you as well have noticed that Japanese people don't express feelings or whatever they really want to do really directly. So it's kind of a game, which I really like. It's not that much of a surprise, but when you experience it firsthand, it's kind of surprising, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, so like the game goes, you hear the opposite person and you have to guess, hopefully right, what he or she, what they mean. But it's kind of fun. Of course, sometimes I don't want to play that game. I just want to say it briefly and straightforward. From my experience about this program and coming to Japan at all, I would like to say that when you decide to apply for the program, first you should really think about your own aims and if you really truly want it. Because if you don't want it yourself, there is no point to come here. Like, I have seen many people coming here getting depressed. So you should really consider all the possibilities. Is it okay for you to be here 1 year? Is it okay to be apart from your friends, from your boyfriend or girlfriends, from your family for 1 year? If it's not, they're like shorter programs, so it's still fine. So first think about what you really want, then find the program that would answer to your wants, and then definitely go for it if you want it. Because even if other people say, oh, you're crazy to go all the way over the globe to that country, or how are you gonna survive there, it's so different from here, and the food, how. But if you want it, and if you're a Japanese study student like me, I guess like you have a secret wish to come here, so make that wish happen. I would say it's a beneficial program, and well, of course there are downsides, but there isn't anything in this world that doesn't have downsides and upsides.
As you mentioned, yes, the duration is quite long. For you it is of 1 year, for us it is 18 months, right?
Yeah.
So naturally, staying away from your family, friends, sometimes you get depressed. It is a natural human tendency, it is a natural process. But just I want to know from you that how could you manage to overcome that depression? So what all kind of activities you do that keeps you away from such feeling? Would you like to share something on that?
Well, I wouldn't say I have overcome it. It depends on the day. Some days I'm like, yeah, I'm so happy, and some days I'm like, oh, let me just listen to this song that connects me to Bulgaria, my beautiful Bulgaria. And well, maybe one good way to overcome it is, of course, to communicate with your loved ones, to send them messages. It doesn't matter if they're gonna answer tomorrow or 2 days from now. Also, maybe find something that you have always wanted to do, because there are many things that you can only do in Japan. Like, for example, if you're interested in Japanese anime and manga, go for all the manga museums, go for the internet cafes, find something that is unique to Japan, or if you, for example, are interested into traditional culture, like go to kabuki or something, or like my way of coping with it is trying my best to find friends here and to connect with people here. And also something I really love about my experience in this program is meeting with other foreigners, because there isn't any other time that so many people from all over the globe are gonna gather at the same time in the same place. So you should go out and be like, okay, let me cook for you my favorite country, my own country's dish, or let's go for a walk. It really helps. So first of all, as someone who loves just going out and eating, I guess it's a good idea to mention food is something that's different in Bulgaria and Japan, of course. So the same way that Japanese people feel about rice, we feel about bread. So here it's really difficult to find good bread, and I guess that's one thing I miss. And the other thing I really miss, and I always ask my mom to send me here, is just white cheese and cheese stuff. Like in Japan they have milk, they have all the means to make what I love, but they still haven't made it here. But they have Bulgarian yogurt, which is a plus because I like yogurt. So yeah, food is a little bit different. Also, like in Bulgaria, I can't say for all the other countries, but like most Asian countries, particularly Japan and Korea, I've seen that they eat, of course, spicy food and more fried food, whereas in Bulgaria we would, well, go for, how do you say, just
Boiled?
bake it in the
Boiled?
oven.
Boiled.
And boil. Yeah, boiling, baking, not so much frying. And yeah, I guess that's about food. About transportation, yeah, I was not used to being part of such a big transportation system like in Tokyo and all the cities. It was the first time in Japan. Like, Japan is the first time I've seen such an intricate system. Like, in Bulgaria we would have only one city with subway, and the subway lines are only two, and they recently built one more, so there are 3 lines right now. And in Japan I can't count them on my hands. There are so many.
So many.
Yeah, and people, of course, there are little differences in the way we would express our thoughts, our feelings. Like, I guess in Bulgaria we would be much more direct with our words. Okay, so about natural calamities. When it comes to Bulgaria, it's a bit different from Japan. We don't get earthquakes, typhoons, or tsunami, and we're not prepared for one. So I guess our houses, the architecture, the structure of the construction of our houses is pretty different from the ones here. They're made of bricks and cement. So yeah, it would be really bad if there was a strong earthquake in Bulgaria. But since I know that in Japan it's pretty common to experience such stuff, I try not to think, like, I try not to imagine bad stuff when I hear that there will be an earthquake or that there is a notice of tsunami or something like this. I just try not to imagine anything bad. And up until now, that's been fine. So since I've come here, I guess I've experienced maybe 4 or 5 earthquakes, but they were not so strong as for us to they were not so strong that we would have to go running or evacuating. And if something like this does happen in the future. I'm not really sure what I should do, but what I've heard from my Japanese friends is just find a Japanese person and follow him if there is an emergency or a natural calamity, and it will be fine. Okay, so guess I will tackle the topic of some advices for future applicants of MEXT program. So as Janu said, you should all be mentally prepared, and you should know what you're going for. So I guess do research a bit where you're going, the place and everything. Of course, if you know some people that have gone to the university you're about to go, definitely contact them. Like most people that have something to do with Japanese culture and Japanese, I have, from my experience, are always so kind and always answer to your questions, so no worries there. Also, there is something I would really like to talk about, like especially for Japanese studies students, when you go for 1 year in Japan and you return to your home country, to your home major, you're kind of a celebrity there. Like there are certain expectations of you, like that you have definitely mastered Japanese language, that you speak like a native already, or also that every day you went to party, but also you were the best in your class. So there are pretty high expectations for your performance, which there is no need to fulfill them. Like you should really take your time when you're here and do what you really want to do, not think about any expectations or anything at all. So just take it slowly, take it with your pace when you're here, and just enjoy whatever you enjoy. If you like to, if you're an indoor person, don't force yourself to go that much out. But of course, if there is something challenging, of course try to go for the challenge, but only like moderately, like 3 challenges a week, not 8 challenges a week. Something like this is what I would like to tell you all.